Good morning to everyone present here. Classrooms have come a long way. There has been an exponential technology advancement over the past few years. From overhead projects to iPad, it's important to understand not only what's coming next, but also where it all started. So friends, presenting in front of you, the evolution of education from slate to tab. Early education in India were commenced under the supervision of Guru, where the Brahmins used to learn about the scripture and the religion, whereas the Kshatriyas were educated in the various aspects of welfare. These teachings were written on the palm leaves, the same types of leaves which were used to write the Vedas and Mahabharata. Then came the medieval period, which witnessed a radical transformation in the Indian subcontinent. The period also experienced a new perspective of teaching with the madrasa system. In the late 18th century, the world saw a new era of writing when the slates were invented. The slate writing was a trick which was used by the medium that involved school slates. However, the exact origin of slate remained unclear, but references to it can be found as far as 14th century. Paper, a writing material, which was first invented by China during the Eastern Han period, contributed a lot in the journey of education in the way of books and notebooks. However, the invention of paper came into the limelight in the 19th century as the people started to use the paper. Then came the private schools into existence, which has far more better facilities than the government schools. They have smart boards replaced by blackboards and have smart class education system. And now, the era of tablet-based education, tablet, which nowadays are replaced by textbooks in schools, are the best way to show textbooks and are becoming more available. At last, I would like to thank my team because of whom this PPT presentation is possible. Animation by Lucky Jangir, content by Jayesh Soni, images by Renu Mewada, presented by Abhishek Vishnu. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you, Group A. I now invite Group B.
A very good morning to everyone present here. I am Avriti.
And I am Rishit.
Today, we shed light on the topic evolution of education from slate to tab.
As you can see that the evolution shows us the journey from Stone Age to modern men.
Then and now, as you can see, the journey of education and technology.
The systematic provision of learning techniques to most children, such as literacy, has been developing of the last 150 to 200 years or even the last 50 years in some countries. Schools for the young have historically been supplemented with advanced training for priests, bureaucrats and specialists.
The development of writing. Starting in about 3500 BC, various writing systems developed in ancient civilizations around the world. Fully developed hieroglyphs were in use at Abydos as early as 3400 BC.
Early education took place in gurukuls.
Later, government schools used slates.
Private schools have started to use vast technology to make education interesting for children.
The slate has given us immense education, and books have been our best friends. But now, technology is our new motto. Learning via technology opens our young minds towards a new future.
Smart boards have replaced to blackboards, yet broadened our vision towards technology and opened the gates of knowledge through technology.
bags full of technology. Tabs have replaced our books, making our minds as well as our bags lighter.
In the end, I would like to thank our ICT mentors who have guided and mentored us. Thank you Sandeep sir and Nikhil sir. I would also like to thank our team members who made this presentation possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Group B. I now invite Group C.
Good morning to one and all present here. I am Nishika
And I'm Siddhika.
and we are here to present the topic for the day. That is evolution of education from slate to tab. Intelligence plus character. That is the goal of true education. Education is not learning of facts, but training of mind to think. Very rightly said by Nelson Mandela that education is the most powerful weapon that can be used to change the world. Education teaches us everything for life. It is the movement from darkness to light. Siddhika, do you know how did it begin?
For thousands of years, in the age of hunter-gatherers, we learned about the plants and animals which we needed for our survivals, ourselves or through stories which were passed for generations.
In the beginning, children educated themselves through direct play and exploration.
Our hunter-gatherer ancestors used cave drawings as a medium to express their feelings and pass on traditions.
As agriculture and civilization developed, knowledge became too extensive to be exchanged verbally. So ways of writing were developed in the 3500 BC in different parts of the world.
Hieroglyphs were first developed. The Phoenician writing system came later and gave rise to the Russian and Arabic script.
A manuscript is any document written by hand or typewritten. Before the arrival of printing, all documents and books were manuscripts.
The printing press came into being. It applied pressure on the ink surface put upon paper or cloth to print.
The existence of writing made it possible to gather up and pass on knowledge on a scale impossible before. Just living in the group was no longer a good enough way of learning all there was to learn. So the school came into being.
The blackboard history begins. Teachers used personal blackboards and students used personal slates. Paper and ink were expensive, so slates were used.
The history of books starts with the development of writing and various other inventions such as paper and printing. At the dawn of the 20th century, the development of what we know as radio began. The reach and immediacy of radio provided educators with a new and potentially powerful medium through which to support and modify education.
Educators have been using projectors in classrooms, and today's projectors use the same principle, transmitting images onto a surface. Computers have been used to enhance traditional curricula. As computers have become accessible, the demand has increased in classrooms.
Wireless tablets are important tools that are used in the 21st century classrooms. The use of wireless tablets in the classrooms has basically changed the way of teaching and interacting. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. We are really very thankful to each and everyone. We would like to say that Nikhil sir and Sandeep sir helped us a lot. Special thanks to each and everyone who spared their precious time to motivate us. We would like to thanks to Anju ma'am who was the backbone of this unique competition. Once again from the bottom of our heart, I thank to everyone present here. Thank you.
Thank you, Group C. Now I invite Group D.
Good morning. Today we are here to shed light on our topic, education from slate to tab. Very well rightly said by Aristotle that roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet.
Why to prefer tab education over books and slate? There are several advantages on why we should prefer tabs or smart education over books. Evolution of education. Evolution has always played an important role in human civilization and development. If there would have been no education, no knowledge, maybe the human community would not have been as developed and civilized as it is today.
Evolution of education from slate to tab was not a small journey. It started from 5000 BC and is still going on.
Gurukul. Gurukuls were the very first of schools and universities in India. The history of Gurukul is about 5000 BC ago. In a Gurukul, the Shishya, students, live with their gurus, teachers, for the entire timeline in the period of education. There are separate Gurukuls for both boys and girls.
In a Gurukul, Shishya lived together as equal, irrespective of their social standing, learn from their gurus and help the gurus in day-to-day life.
Gurukul teaching style.
In fair weather, classes were held under the shelter of trees. In the rainy seasons, schools ran under thatched roof. Temples and colleges of the past had been of great renown for hearing spacious building for classrooms and residence complexes of the student and the gurus.
Gurukuls and ashrams were generally situated on the river banks or on the lake to attain knowledge. Education in Middle Period. The schools at Nalanda, Pushpagiri, Takshila and Vikramshala were some of the primary institutions of higher learning in ancient India.
About it was usually on some from the families that went to school. There were mainly three types called school in 14th century: the elementary song school, the monastery school, and the grammar school.
Invention of paper. The days went on and the human thirst for education grew on, which led to the invention of paper. Paper was invented in around 100 BC. It was invented under the Han Dynasty Emperor Ho Ti. The invention of paper was a giant leap for mankind. The invention is an important aspect and plays a major role in the evolution of education. At early times, around 1982 to 87, paper was rare and a bit expensive. And then it was the time when slates came into existence. 21st century. The education in 21st century is completely different from that which used to be in ancient India. The 21st century primary schools introduced tab education to children, which slowly is spreading around the whole world. Our school is one such example. Here we are provided with tab education, which gives us a creative, learning and visualizing environment. As we human beings are visual animals, we understand pictures and videos more clearly in comparison to text and phrases. Credits.
Varun help us in text and animation, Navdeep help in transition and animation.
Rahul has helped us in transition and animation, and Jyoti has helped us in photo selection.
I was very happy when we were creating the happy. I feel very happy that all my teammates work together.
Good morning. My name is Jyoti and making this presentation was surely a great experience for me and my teammates. And I think that competition like this should take place. Thank you and have a nice day.
Good morning. My name is Navdeep. It was a great experience on making this PPT with my teammates. Thank you.
Thank you, Jyoti. Now I invite Group E.
Hello Yuvraj,
Hello, Gav.
Are you feeling okay with this slate?
Yes, it's the only thing on which I can study. And it's good for me.
If I give you this tab, then?
Wow, a tab. Awesome.
So let's study the evolution of education from slate to tab. Good morning, everyone present here.
Today we are going to talk about education evolution from slate to tab.
Education. Education is a term which is more easily understood than defined. Education was derived from a Latin word called educatum, which means the act of teaching and training.
History of education. Earlier in about 3500 BC, various writing systems developed in the ancient civilization around the world. In Egypt, fully developed hieroglyphs were in use at Abydos as early as 3400 BC. Oldest known alphabets was developed in Central Egypt around 2000 BC.
In ancient times, the total education was concentrated on the establishment of existence of God, heaven and hell. If justice was followed, God rewards you with heaven, and if injustice is done, God punishes you to the hell.
Poor education. Children in poverty makes 39% of the population and can barely get educated. They study in government schools only with slates, which is now called the old education or education of poor children. But in late 18th century, it was the best thing for education.
Education on paper. The child is weak, helpless, and ignorant at birth. But he gradually grows and develops. He acquires knowledge and skills. He realizes thoughts into actions and satisfies his needs. He changes behavior, and these things are his education.
Tab education. As a human gets more technology, he thinks it's not perfect by time and gets more greedy. Here, he thinks of a better education system for better understanding, introduces tab education to the world.
Future education. Using technology to individualize student learning is an idea going back at least 100 years. Our team. We would thank our team, Ronak, Abhiraj, Virendra, me, and my friend Yuvraj. Without my team, this presentation was not successful.
And hope for more opportunities like this.
We will give credits. This presentation was directed by Gav and Yuvraj.
Illustration by Ronak, Yuvraj, and Gav.
Edited by Gav, Abhay, Yuvraj, Virendra.
Written by Yuvraj, Gav, and Ronak.
Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Group D. May I request our guest to say a few words of motivation and give away